Hello. Welcome to my presentation, Pipeline Processing in E-commerce. First of all, some words about me. I'm an e-commerce specialist at TechDivision. My main field, or what I do mostly, is develop enterprise or big customers based on Magento, and also I'm part of the Magento engineering team as a contributor. I'm one of the main contributors in the MSI project, and you can find me on Twitter. And yes, in my free time, I do also some go hiking and spend some time in Spa to get some free mind. But yeah, this is all about me. Let's come to the topic. First of all, we have a complex infrastructure in e-commerce, not only about for the e-commerce system by itself, also for the systems around like ERP, PIM, logistics, CRM, and so many outside services. Also in e-commerce, if you are a really big merchant, you have a lot of transactions, around 50 per minute, and on, say, events like Christmas or Black Friday and some more. Besides, we must exchange data in e-commerce, and exchanging data between your e-commerce system and your ERP or CRM system, it's one of the hardest part in e-commerce. And which one of you was tomorrow at the morning in the talk about asynchronous processing from Xena? Can you raise your hand? Okay, it's not so much. Okay, then I go a little bit deeper. So, and of course, we cannot do processing synchronously, because synchronous processing don't scale well. And for this reason, we need asynchronous processing in e-commerce. And let's come to my main headline: why are cron shops not enough? In the past, we are implementing the most times with cron shops, but cron shops only a basic solutions. It works well for small customers if you must exchange data, but if you have a lot of transactions, it don't scale. And for this reason, we're thinking about, okay, what we can do, or what is what are the problems with cron shops, and we summarize them and come to this. Oh, sorry. You cannot run operations parallel out of the box. As example, you need from different systems data, and with cron shops you cannot do this out of the box. And the main problem is, if you start a cron shop, you don't know about the status of the cron shop, because the Linux cron starts a process in the system, but you don't see, okay, what is the process of or what is the state of this process. And this is really a problem, because if you will integrate your new shiny e-commerce system or exchanging data between e-commerce and CRM system, and the CRM system is from the 90s, you're fighting all times with limitations, and also you get some timeout errors, and also you cannot retry a single task or cancel a task. What I mean, if you start something and an error happens, you must restart the full process again. Of course, you can split a download and an import and cleaning cache in single services or single service class. But yeah, if a cron shop you're already run and it's already do some import, you don't know what he changed already on your system. And if you cancel the job with, oh, I will kill this process in Linux, it's maybe not so a good idea. Pipeline pattern. Yeah. This is something like an assembly line. Most of you know pipelines from tools like GitLab, and or in Linux you have also pipelines, like you have a pipe and you can write one command and a second command and pipeline, and what it's do, it's take an object from the first command and put it in the second function and works with the already import. This is the main idea of pipelines. Okay, let's go to the praxis. First of all, we have two types of pipelines. We have linear pipelines, and in example, you start a transfer order in my case. What I mean, it's a customer come to your e-commerce system and buy some t-shirts and use in advance payment for as payment method. And as a merchant, you would like transfer and reserve already the amounts of products in the CRM system. And in the second step, we approve the order. In advance payment works like, okay, after 5 days you get information from the payment provider, the customer has paid, and okay, now I can ship my products to the customer. And these are the typical use case for linear pipelines. Okay, the second type is nonlinear pipelines. You have a CRM system, and you download some products from, not a CRM, ERP system, as don't matter. You download some products from the system, and you have two websites. In my case, I have a German website and a France website, and yeah, you download the products. And now you prepare some import file for Magento, because if you do some imports in Magento, you would like do this by one step. And first download parallel, and then we do synchronous processing. And we interpret them, because we have we need to find categories there, we need to find attributes there, and yeah, this is the reason why we must interpret the data before we can import it and in Magento. So let's come to pipeline definitions. In our project, we are using XML because Magento allows us to merge and register some XSDs for XMS, and for this reason we use for the configuration XML. Okay, first of all we have the name of a pipeline. In my case, okay, I would like import every order from the ERP system in Magento. I have some experience times because, okay, if the jobs takes longer than 30 minutes, we must cancel it, and no changes in the database happen. Also, we have a description there, and yeah, this is all. So a pipeline has also a condition. Yeah, a condition is some service class they defined, okay, on which time I can run this pipeline. In this case, we have some virtual condition for this message import, and in this message import, we have some time run every 15 minutes and don't run between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. And this is all. The condition will return true, and you can register many of them. So now we start the download from the Austrian website, because we need invoices from the system. And also, of course, we have a name there, we have a service class there. I will describe later what the executed types really do. And of course, we have also some arguments. In our case, we have the website code for Austrian, and this is all. And also, we have some limitation there. Retry these jobs only 5 times, and then mark them as cancelled. Yeah. Also, we have here a second step. It's looking really same, but he has a really nice condition, because don't start before the previous step are finished. This is all. Yeah. Also, we need some extension patterns for the basic algorithm. Because in the basic algorithm, as only described, you have linear and non-linear pipelines. This is the basic algorithm. You can find some mad papers in the internet where is the algorithm described, how works, why works, and for also which use cases you can also use it. And but we need some extensions. We need some more conditions. Okay, starts only at 3 a.m. because we would like import a full set of products in the shop. Also, we need some persistence for the downloaded files to allow us to read the file and import them in and use the concept of piping. Yeah. Also, we have some database, but yeah, I show you later. So also we implement alternative endings, because yeah, after the 4th or 5th week, we were thinking about, okay, it's really good to have all information in one place in the order, but with standard pipelines, you can also not do this. And how works? We have a pipeline, they transfer the order. And now, I already talked about in advance payment. Now the customer don't pay us. It's come not money, and after 40 days you will cancel, or you must cancel the order, because the stock will reserve for the customer, and you cannot buy the product. And yeah, for this reason, we have a cancel step. And what he does, he has some one step can complete the pipeline. This is all. It's some extra attribute there, and every pending step will set to skipped, and this is only the concept. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about technology. Of course, we are using Magento. We implement this in the Magento module, but we need the commerce edition, because only the commerce edition has a RabbitMQ adapter out of box, and also, yeah, it's a little bit easier if you have a tight schedule to start with a already working message queue bus and don't think about you must implement by yourself. And yeah, also we use PHP 7 features there and MySQL to store some logs there, and I will show you later. So let's come to the main part. We have a cron shop every 1 minute. It's the basic. Now we call a PHP file. In this case, the name of the PHP file is heartbeat, and what he does. He is the main entry point of pipelines. He spawns pipelines. He reads the configuration from XML and evaluate every pipeline condition, and if every pipeline condition are true, he writes the information to the database. I come later to some deeper example. So, okay, now we have the information in the database. It's 2 different tables. We have one table for pipeline and one table for pipeline steps. So now we loading depending steps from the database and write them in a message queue if every condition also are true from a step. This is all. So now we have some listener. Xena talked today about, okay, you have different topics and you can register own topic in your message queue XML, and we use a really small topic and transfer only the step ID to the runner PHP file. And he loads first the information from the database, because in the database we have the executor type, we have the log, we have, okay, now the pipeline is started and any information is in the database. Second, he inits the executor type and execute the logic in the step. And in this case, we use price data full download. And the third step is write the status in the database. And he writes the log back, and it's good. So let's come to a really real example. Here we have our ERP systems with 2 webs, with 2 channels. If you're a big merchant, you use channels for separation of products, because you have many different prices, you have different products there, you have some different product pictures also there, and you use very often channels. So now we are the heartbeat. And the heartbeat, we already write the pipeline in the database and starting, okay, we must start the download. And now every condition for a step are true. We write the message to the message queue, 2 messages, and the download starting from the ERP system and writing the information in our pipelines. And now, after the download was successfully, we starting with interpret this information, and write the result back to the folder of our pipelines. And the last step is we read the information from the folder and import every product in Magento. So, what are the traps of asynchronous processing? Payment. Payment is a really big trap in asynchronous processing. we had many problems with payment because if you're using a system like Magento or a Symfony file finder, the objects sometimes are singleton. And if you have long-living processes, you never reset up the objects. And now you will capture the money from the customer, but before in the message receiver already you capturing something, and the capturing works not. Because it is a singleton, and in the singleton object it's already information, and for this reason we must change the message life of one. It's one setting. You can make a setting in Magento, start 30 runners, and give a lifetime. Only one message, 10 messages, 100 messages. If you increase the number of the lifetime, you save time for connecting, you save time for, but it don't work well. Also, a problem in payment was we get every invoices from the ERP system, and now you have many capturings in one XML files. Also the same, singleton objects, you cannot do this more than one times. Okay, we split the XML files in single messages and put them back in the message queue and solve this problem. Okay, conflicts. I already speak about conflicts because you start a process, and the process takes longer than as you're thinking, because you get some timeout from the ERP system, and usually it takes only 5 minutes, but in this case 15 minutes, and you retry this or you restart this message every 15 minutes, and okay, now we must cancel the pipeline because we have already new information from the ERP system, and this was the reason why we implement the attribute with expire times, and sometimes if the process takes longer, we cancel them and start the process new. Visualization. We start with this UI element in the backend. Okay, now we get some tickets. Okay, why is the pipeline with this ID not working, and for which order has not worked? Because the customer will know if some order export don't work. And in this case, it's good to have this information also in the order, to link the pipeline to an order, because you have the information about the order in the pipeline already, and show the pipeline in the order, and allows developer to debugging the error easily. Summary. Pipelines help us to synchronize and simplify the processing of asynchronous work. It's